All right, so 4 years of growth. What's making you finally, why is now the time? She's pushing you to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've wanted to.
Yeah.
But I've scheduled a few appointments and I've just kind of wimped out.
And backed out?
Yeah.
Okay. What you're wanting is like my main style right now, so we can leave as much as you want.
In my front, I used to have like a comb over when I was younger.
Okay.
And I'm wanting to do like a front, like.
So you want to wear it down? Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to flow back because of how you've been wearing it. Probably always pulling it back, and you may have a little bit of a middle part that you gotta like fight for a little bit. Not a middle part, but wherever it's been splitting, then you'll have to fight. But yeah, sweet. Yeah, that's definitely up my alley. So. All right, guys, so today I got my guy James in the chair. It has been 5 years since he had a haircut. He mentioned to his girlfriend, whose sister is a friend of my wife's, basically, that he wanted to cut it finally, and he didn't trust just going anywhere. He didn't want to get messed up. So they suggested maybe I would do it. He had no idea that I love doing these type of haircuts for YouTube. So I, of course, said yes, and today we're gonna chop all his hair off. So you see, I started off by cutting some of the length off because he has super nice hair, but combing through it, it just was not working. So went ahead and cut some length off. You see, I'm still struggling to deal with all this length, but he's wanting a mullet, kind of a super shaggy mullet crop, fringe in the front, as you heard in the beginning, and you guys saw some of the examples. So I am gonna go in using the DFS formula, and we're setting a foundation all the way around the sides and the back, and then we're gonna do vertical sections to cut all of the length that is left behind. Then we'll do a little taper on the sides. So now that we have our guide all the way around, I'm just gonna take vertical sections, pull that out, and I am gonna angle slightly down at the bottom so that the longest part is at the very bottom. So once I move on to the second section, I have my guide underneath and also my guide at the top to help me know what I'm cutting, and we will just work that all the way around this side, all the way up towards the sideburn. And then I think I actually messed up the angle on the other side, so it is not in the video, but essentially we do the same exact thing that we do on this side, all the way around to the other side. And if you are new to the channel, this is called the DFS formula, guys. Essentially us setting a length at the top, deciding what that's gonna do, transitioning into the sides and transitioning into the top. Just allows you to be more precise with our scissor work if you're a barber that wants to learn that scissor work. And so I do recommend you check it out. It definitely took my game to the next level. You guys can do so at dfsformula.com. There is hours upon hours of content on there for you guys to learn it. And I will be adding some content soon, like I mentioned before, so stay tuned for that. Now we're essentially splitting the top down the middle. We're gonna take that straight out to each side and tie it into what is underneath. I know you can't really see it well, which is the difficulty of doing scissor work on camera, but essentially I'm just looking for that guide underneath, tying all this in. We'll do the same thing on this side, and we can transition up to the top. Now, because we took the hair to each side and connected it in, we're gonna have a obvious guide when we pull the top up. So we're gonna have two short parts on each side with a peak in the middle, and we're just gonna take that peak off. I'm choosing to do that via point cutting. You guys can cut it blunt if you want. You really can do it however you want, but we're just gonna follow that guide. I'm working back to front, and we'll be done with the top. Now I went ahead and knocked all the moisture off the hair so that my clipper work would tie right in. And now I'm just gonna come in with a number 4 all the way closed and tie into that foundation that we started just on the sides. Then we're gonna come in and do kind of a low to mid taper underneath. Now I'm gonna come in and punch in my bald guideline. I'm going from kind of the top of the ear towards the eyebrow, if you guys can kind of see where that's angled. And that's gonna be kind of a low taper, a little bit higher maybe than a low taper. Then we came in with the shaver underneath, got it down to skin. Now we're working with our open section. So we're gonna go up about a 1/2 inch, close the clipper at the bottom. We'll do half open in the middle, and we set the guideline in with the lever all the way open. Now I'm gonna come in with my one guard all the way open, and we're gonna go up another 1/2 inch. So not a drastic guideline. You see I'm kind of flicking out. Then I can close it up, start to take that line out. But no matter what, no matter how much I go with the one closed, I will need the half guard half open to take that line out in between. And guys, if you've watched me for a long time, that's something I always talk about. People ask questions. It is very hard to explain, but that is actually gonna be the very first video I drop on the DFS Academy, going through my fade steps down to the millimeter, breaking down why that makes sense. So if that's something you've always asked, it's coming soon. You're gonna be able to see. So then we took our 3 into the 4 that we started with, now at number 2, then we will finish up with 1.5, and I can continue to work my way down as needed until I'm happy with how this side looks. Then we can line it up and move on to the other side. Now that we're done with the taper, we're gonna go ahead and edge up the C-cup. I'm gonna take off as little as possible while getting it nice and sharp. I just wanna make that taper pop. And you guys, he has light hair, so you can't see it super well, but just gonna take off very little and get a nice edge there, and then we'll work our way back kind of around the ear. We wanna go until we get to the long hair, but we don't wanna take off any of the long hair. So where we've done our clipper work, we wanna edge up so that this front profile, this front view that you see of the taper looks nice and sharp. You can see a little bit right now, there's hair touching the ear. So we're just gonna take that off, but we're not gonna cut into the length that's in the back. All right guys, moving on to the other side, we're gonna do these same exact steps as we just did, so follow along in the bottom right corner. I wanna talk to you guys and get some feedback about my Academy videos that I'm gonna work on, I guess. So like I said, I'm gonna do my fade steps, super detailed breakdown. If you guys have ever taken one of my courses, I've taught it before, you guys have seen it. It is a game changer, absolute game changer. But what else would you guys wanna see? I'm essentially gonna teach more of my style of cutting with the DFS formula implemented, but a little more basic, a little more shop friendly. So if there's anything you guys would love to see me bring in more detail than a YouTube video, leave me a comment down below and let me know, and I will work on getting those done soon. Now we're gonna move on to styling. I'm gonna start by applying some statement definition spray. We're gonna add some Tomb45 clay and some pure powder at the end. And guys, as I started cutting, he told me, you know, his hair is super straight. He would love to have some texture. You saw when it was long, it was very straight. But as soon as I started cutting it and the hair was wet, you could see it curling up. So even right here without a blow dryer, just with some product, you can see we got a nice texture. And now we're gonna come in with our blow dryer on medium heat, medium speed. I'm just gonna scrunch the hair with my fingers and try to bring out as much curl as possible. It does take a little bit of time to really work it together. We don't wanna blast it with super high speed and move the hair around. I'm just gonna take my time. You see how much we sped this up. I'm gonna bring out as much texture as possible. We'll add some pure powder in the end. Just adds a nice matte finish, kind of dries everything else up that's in the hair, and you guys can check out the finished product. All right guys, there is James before 5 years of hair growth. Kind of a surprise to his family. His girl did pressure him to come in, not pressure him, but encourage him. And there is the finished product, guys. He was ecstatic about this. He was nervous about cutting it, didn't want to get his hair botched, had some pictures. I told him this was my style, I love to cut. So he was super happy, to say the least, and his family loved it, his girl loved it. But you guys leave me a comment down below what you think about this cut. I definitely am hype about it. Super heavy textured, messy shag, crop, whatever you want to call it. One of my favorite styles. So make sure you guys are subscribed. I got more stuff like this coming soon, and hit that thumbs up if you did like this video. I'm gonna let you guys know as soon as the content comes out on the Academy. But until then, I'm gonna leave a video over here for you guys to watch. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.